Hi, my name is Alyssa Campbell, and today I will be discussing how to properly bandage a wound. When a victim is injured, the first thing you need to do is introduce yourself and receive consent to perform first aid. Once you've received consent, make sure that you properly put on gloves before you touch any bodily fluids to make sure or to avoid getting into any diseases they may have. Make sure you properly assess the victim and the environment that you're around to make sure you're at a safe location and to see if the victim is having any trouble breathing or if there's any other injuries besides the one you're specifically looking at. Now that the victim is ready for wound care, expose the injury if there's any clothing in the way or anything like that. I can see that the victim has an incision on his lower left leg because it is a straight line and it's not jagged. There's also just oozing of blood and not squirting, so it's most likely an injury to the veins and not arteries. First thing you can do is wash it with soap and water if available, and next, since it is a small wound, you can apply antibiotic ointment to kill any bacteria that has possibly gotten into the wound. Just make sure you spread a thin layer across it. Next, you will take a non-stick sterile gauze pad and place it across the wounded area. You will hold this on the cut with good pressure for a little while and make sure that if blood starts seeping through that you do not remove the first gauze. You place more gauze on top because if you remove it, then you have a possibility of injuring the scab that is starting to form. Once you have the bleeding under control, you can take a roller gauze and begin to wrap it around the gauze in the wounded area. Make sure that you go above and below the gauze with good pressure. But once you are done, make sure that it isn't too loose where it could fall off or too tight where it's cutting off any circulation from any lower extremities. So make sure you're talking to the victim to make sure that they are comfortable for the time being. Once you're done, you can just tuck it in underneath. Once the victim says that they're all good, you need to properly dispose of your gloves and don't just throw them in a trash can. Make sure they go in a biohazardous bag or in a sealed Ziploc bag before throwing it in the trash can so the contaminated gloves don't possibly infect anything else. Alright, thank you for watching.